stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
All right, welcome everybody into Sim Racing Media tonight. We are with the drivers of the ECR NextGen Series for the Average Joe's Gymnasium 225 from Kansas. I'm Mike Damoni up in the booth. Joined with me tonight is Emily. Emily, how's it going?
It is wonderful, beautiful day here up in the Midwest. Past actual couple days, it's been nice, so good to have that. And we are in the Midwest today at Kansas Speedway. Going to be over in Kansas, of course. But yeah, I'm ready. This is definitely going to be an interesting show. From in here to IRL, Kansas is always a fun track, day in, day out, especially the 4-8 action that we'll have here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Last week they were headed out in Darlington where Tay McDonald dominated the race, leading 72 laps. John Osborne was second and Ryan McCall was third. But before we get into the race, let's see if we can take a look here at the point standings. Dwayne Furtick in that 51 machine is the points leader with 489 points. Adam Bowden back there with 482. Both of them are the Revolution Motorsports teammates there. Then you have Dan Carnathan with 481. So it is a tight battle between those top four. Kyle Diaz is 480. And that is where they sit right now as they get ready to start here. But we also have, you can jump over to the team championship standings. Revolution Motorsports, of course, leading that. I'm going to say Aeon's Motorsports 420.
Sounds about right.
213 Motorsports with 361. So definitely a little tight battle there between the top two, separated by 5 points is all as they get going here into qualifying. Like a few drivers have already taken to the track.
Yes, indeed. And with you mentioning qualifying, Travis, currently here tonight, will be able to qualify. So, if he is here tonight, I don't think he is actually here tonight.
Yeah, I was looking when they were out there running that practice session. Didn't really see him out there. There was Robert Roth was out there running laps like crazy. He ran over 100 laps in the practice session here before this qualifying session rolled off. Adam Bowden was the top driver in practice. Right now he's sitting P2 with a 30.12.
Yeah, and like you said, currently the fastest that was in practice. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I was expecting Travis, if he was here tonight, he must have taken a provisional to get into that first place P1 qualifying position. He is a fast driver, and very surprising. But after last week's race, and he races now, he is able to qualify. But we do have another driver that still has 3 races and is on probation and cannot qualify here tonight, and that's going to be Waylon Turner. So it's going to be that number 3 Ford machine, so he's going to sit out qualifying and start from the rear of the field.
Roth just finishing up lap number 2 with a 30.26. So he jumped up there pretty quickly here. 6th fastest. We got Christopher Roth in the 62 Ford rolling through.
Michael York, still your P1 holder for now. Still got a couple cars that need to qualify, a little bit more, shall I say. Christopher Roth ran a 30.6, about 5/10 off of what York ran.
Now these times are a little slower than we saw in practice, so definitely have to build up some speed as they get rolling around this track that is Kansas. As Ludi there goes, a 30.44, good enough for P14. Looks like we have 20 drivers set to take part here for the 150 laps that is on the docket tonight.
Yes, indeed, and I did get some information. We are going to be missing 5 drivers here tonight. Normally we have about 20 to 25 drivers out on this asphalt track. So a couple short people here tonight, but still, this league is not going to disappoint from week in and week out. Definitely some awesome action-packed racing, and I don't expect anything less, especially here at Kansas. Like I mentioned, 4 wide, 5 wide. This is a track that you want to do it at.
Yeah, and just looking back through the race results of this season, it looks like starting on the pole is not necessarily where you want to be, as it doesn't look like anybody who's qualified on the pole has won a race this year. So Michael York will look to be the first driver to do that as we get ready to close up this qualifying session. Looks like we have about 3 minutes left, give or take. And as you said, Waylon Turner cannot qualify, so he'll be sitting out for the moment. But with that being said, let's see if we can just jump on one of the sponsors we have here. The Vet to Track has been with these guys from the beginning. So they take pride in being different. It's what set us apart, in not only their commitment to empowering veterans, but unique approach we embrace to make meaningful impact. Vet to Track operates with no paid staff. Every effort is an effort of love, driven to the genuine desire to make a difference in the lives of veterans. Vet to Track operates on a mission, not a profit motive. Every dollar earned, donated, goes back into creating more opportunities for veterans. are focused on impact and empowerment, not financial gain.
Yes, indeed. Like you mentioned from the start, one of the main sponsors here, which is awesome. Same for another one we'll talk about here later tonight. But this race is brought to you and sponsored by South here tonight. Helped make this happen here tonight for us to be able to be in the booth and allow us to be here for this amazing race that will be put on tonight.
Yeah, definitely. They go through, and everybody has basically decided that they want to help sponsor a race. So this week it is South. Next week, I believe Kane Lee's throwing down for the Queen City race. I think it's Queen City 350 next week. So Jiminy Christmas. But that's from Charlotte. So definitely
Charlotte's
a couple.
always fun.
Yeah, I want to say definitely a couple good races that are going to happen back to back here. As we do have a minute. Kansas is a 1.5 mile 4-turn racetrack. The turns are banked at 17 to 20 degrees. Front stretch is 10. Back stretch is 5. So definitely kind of pay attention to that. Look at the weather here. 76 degrees is the track temperature. So they shouldn't be tearing up the tires too bad here. I know when Kansas does get hot, it will get slick, but doesn't seem to be an issue tonight as they get ready to roll off into the session. This session will switch over to the nighttime, as I believe it is going to be switching over to about 7:30 is when the race is going to start. So the weather will change just a little bit, but we can bring up the points one more time while you guys can have a minute to just look over it while it's going here. I mean, the top 18 drivers are not separated by what? Over just a little over 130 points, 140 points. So anybody's game so far, as they have 31 races in the season, so
Yes, indeed.
be getting ready to get in their rides now, and we can bring up the starting grid.
As we are on race 13 out of the 33 race season, like you mentioned, so still got a lot of ways, still got many races to get into the championship week that will be happening very soon. Hopefully, still feels far out, shall I say?
Not sure what's going on with. All right, now we can go through the grid. Not sure exactly what was going on there, but here we go. As these guys get ready to roll off, we have Michael York and Adam Bowden in the row number 1. Kyle Diaz with points leader Dwayne Furtick in row 2. Row 3 is going to be Bradley Rivers and Robert Roth. Row 4, Pete Walsh and Kane Lee. Row 5, Dylan Picklesheimer?
Picklesheimer, I think.
Yep. Doug Denice and Michael Carter with John Osborne starting P12. We got 17 South and Anthony Ludi in row 7. Row 8 is Aaron Spear and Alan Holtzman. Ryan McCall and Kent Mueller make up row 9. Row 10, Christopher Roth and Wayne Turner are the 20 drivers that are going to take part tonight as they get ready to roll off here.
Yes, indeed, and some amazing paint schemes coming from Darlington. We had throwback paint schemes, so some of these drivers now have new paint schemes, some similar, like that Domino's number 26 by Kyle Diaz. So rocking that beautiful Domino's pizza. But definitely some new, shall I say, paint schemes here out on these cars. Haven't seen them actually before in the past races, so definitely some beautiful schemes here tonight.
Yeah, Michael York gets his pole position as they get ready to roll here. The green flag is going to be ready to roll once they get to the Geico restart zone. The Best Buy drops, green flag is out, and we are underway here from Kansas.
Yes, indeed, as a decent but not much head start, the 48 got there as diving down. The 26 was looking there, but with the cars on the outside of that number 26, it allows that 48 to get a little bit of more room. Wow.
Yeah, that 48 is out almost 0.3 of a second already. Adam Bowden has Kyle Diaz with him as that 94 goes clear down to the apron through that trioval. We'll see that probably most of the night as they get a little more comfortable in these rides. We got Bradley Rivers, Kyle Diaz, and the 74 of Pete Walsh was looking to split him in the middle, but now he is all over the back of that 15 as he is trying to get a little momentum out of that Milwaukee 74.
As Kyle Diaz gets in the wall there coming out of turn 4, and look there, battle for the lead between Adam Bowden and Michael York. Adam Bowden gets the lead right there. Will he get it coming off for turn 2? Side by side, does not get it. Michael York still your race leader, but still battling right there. 94. Michael York not gonna allow it. Ooh, side by side.
Yeah, not going anywhere is that Red Bull 48 Chevy. Still side by side. Tough battle up here for the lead. We said we'd see 3, 4, 5 wide action sometimes through the race here, and it has not disappointed so far up front. But as these guys slow down just a little bit, it's going to allow the 15 of Bradley Rivers to make a run on the bottom side, get a little bit closer to that 94 of Adam Bowden there.
Yeah, 94 Adam Bowden, like you mentioned, trying to get closer, but battling right back there for 4th, 5th, and 6th between the 74, 8, and 26 of Kyle Diaz. 74 looking on the inside of the 8 side by side back through that backstretch, was not able to make the move, but gonna try to get a run going into turns 3 and 4, and kind of gonna try to shove up and get on that quarter panel of the 8.
Yeah, you want to just barely get in there because coming out of turn number 4, if you're just to the inside of that left rear quarter, you can dive down and take that momentum and take the position here. We'll see if the 74 Ford can do that of Pete Walsh.
Yes, and does not get to do that, but look now, the 8 car is now looking on the back bumper of the 26 of Diaz, running that high line. And here at Kansas, if you can run that high line and that close line, it will burn up tires, but it is one of the fastest lines here.
Yeah, they've got plenty of tires sitting in the pits. They have 5 sets there. Fuel run should be somewhere around 35 to 45, depending on how hard you're pushing your ride there. And it looks like Waylon Turner has wasted little time as that Subway 30 Ford up to, well, he was battling for 14th there.
Yeah, and can I say that Subway Series number 30 paint scheme is fire. I don't think I've seen one like that yet. Have you?
Not on the surface, I have not, but had to do a little double check looking at the front versus the side views here, but that Subway machine definitely is on the move.
Yeah, and it's a very clean machine, and I will say Subway is really good, in my opinion, as 88 running that beautiful paint scheme. Got some reminders. As battling now, the 30 car still battling up there. Trying to get past that 81 of John Osborne. Still does not be able to get it, but I have a feeling he's going to be able to get it going into turns 3 and 4 if he pulls his cards right. But 81 of John Osborne comes down to block.
Yeah, they're battling all over the track here. Just up in front of those two drivers, we have Alan Holtzman and Ryan McCall.
Yeah, and I was about to mention, normally with this Cup League and their races, roughly, I mean, averaging, I see 2 cautions for each race. And with that being said, is most of the time these drivers do run it safe for the first at least 100, 110 laps. But that's not what I'm seeing here today.
No, they are definitely throwing down the gauntlet a little bit here. Did a little research. Last time they were here, Ryan McCall did win the race, and they only had 1 caution for the 150 laps, but they had 14 lead changes. So they were definitely racing hot and heavy back then as well.
Yeah, and that's something that this track brings, and I always love watching any series that comes to here, Cup, Xfinity, and even Truck, and ARCA as well. Awesome. As a 15 car, that number U.S. Army, going to be looking on the inside quarter panel of the 94. Does not get to it, but your top 3 cars are neck and neck right now. 1, 2, 3, really close together. So right now it's anybody's race still.
Yeah, 12 laps in, everybody's trying to find out where they want to be. You feel the tires starting to wear in just a little bit here. They're about a third of the way through a fuel run.
A third indeed. And I mean, battling right there though, 74 possibly. But our biggest mover so far we have looks to be number 8 in that Chevy Camaro AMS Oil. Michael Carter going to be up 7 positions now. Going to be in that P4 spot, making moves, trying to get up there. Still a close battle between almost everybody here on the track. It's Canada, shall I say.
Yeah, there's everybody's able to run basically whatever line they want, and there's not too much of a difference as far as speed goes at the moment, as Kane Lee is putting that 91 Chevy up into P6, looking to get inside that top 10 here, or top 5, sorry.
Yeah, it's looking on the quarter panel, the 91 Sprite Cherry, another beautiful scheme here tonight. 74 is again looking on that quarter panel of Kane Lee, trying to make a move. Like I said, the 8 car battling Diaz right now. Diaz is a fast car if they can, keep that line. Once Diaz gets in the groove, gets his mind set on where he's at, where he's running, and in the clean air, he is a fast car.
Yeah, just behind them, you still have this battle here between Walsh and Lee. Lee's up almost into the wall, trying to get as much of the track as he can. 74 of Pete Walsh trying to basically take a little bit faster view around the track. Just that momentum on that high line is hard to combat here. Yeah,
and again, momentum with the 91 being on that outside line. 74 is definitely gonna have to work hard to be able to make it happen. Try to switch it up and pressure that 91 on the bottom line to be able to make that move. As Adam Boatman is still your race leader, and coming back to the start, like you said, anybody that's done and gotten the pole has not won a race. And Michael York has dropped back to 2nd place, so hopefully he can possibly get back up there and change that curse that seems to be cursing these drivers that get pole.
Yeah, you never really know what's going through some drivers' minds when you see them all of a sudden battling really hard, and then all of a sudden they start falling through the field almost like a rock. Sometimes it's just they decide they want to save fuel and try and make this 2-pit stop race. I think just by what we heard as far as the fuel mileage goes, it's going to be close to somebody having to either save on a stint or somebody just taking a splash and go and hoping that they can get back out fast enough.
Yeah, and some of these drivers too, when they come down pit road, some of these drivers, in the wall the 48 car gets, going to be allowing the 15 car to be able to get on the inside and make a move and attempt to get that past, and gets that past. Possibly damage now to that 48, and that's something you don't want, especially at these mile-plus tracks, is getting damage on that car is a no-no.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to see. As you can see that the gap from third here with Michael York back to Kyle Diaz is getting a little bit smaller as he bounced off the wall.
Yeah, and currently it looks like lap time fall-offs are almost in the half second, a little bit half second now for Michael York, so it's going to be interesting to see how IRA will affect him here tonight and if he will start saving later through the run.
Yeah, you definitely want to look through that, as the fastest time that as far as lap time that Michael York had ran was a 29.98, almost the fastest lap of the race, and his last lap was a 31. So I mean, they're losing he lost a lot of time because he hit the wall, but they're losing time the more this goes on here, and they're getting about 2/3 of the way through this run here. So you're going to see some guys start to fall off a little bit faster than others, and you'll also see some drivers that are able to make some gains.
Ooh, that's huge battling in the mid-pack.
I just looked up and saw 4 and 5 wide, inside, outside.
Oh, wow. 2 wide mid-pack. Front pack is singled off, but we have battle here. Wow, from 10th on back and even up forward. Wow. That's not what I was expecting when we switched to that, I'm going to be honest.
Ryan McCall, Doug DeNice, Waylon Turner, John Osborne, Anthony Ludi, and Kane Lee all in that battle there. Looks like South decided to back out of it just a little bit as he saw 4 and 5 wide in front of him.
Yeah, and talk about a hornet's nest. I mean, that's the definition right there. That's something that, do you want to be in? Do you not want to be in? Because, yeah, you can go 4 or 5 wide, but that can cause chaos, as the 81's now looking down the side of that 30 car. And definitely actually not falling back, surprisingly, as much as I figured. But mostly because there's a lot more cars behind him, and with that bottom line, I feel like he's going to almost make the pass.
Yeah, it looked like he was looking to do that as the 12 of Anthony Ludi here got into the outside wall. The 81 all of a sudden checked up a little bit. Looked like he got a little loose there, got out of the throttle, slid up the track. Yeah,
and this line of cars on lap 26 is definitely interesting. Something that, you know, I feel like I don't see as often is once we get this far into the run is most of these cars start spacing out. Most of these cars start, you know, breaking off, running their own race and saving fuel, saving tires to be able to make, you know, like you said, be able to make it a little bit further in the end. As almost 3 wide there between the 90, 30, and 81. 30 car's making it dicey right there.
Yeah, the 30 car looked like he stuck that nose in there and decided to back out as soon as that 90 rapid fire pizza machine came down the track a little bit. 2x2 back here in the back.
As 30 cars not going to give up, going to now look on the quarter panel of the 90, but they're now chasing down. It's 77 up there. 2x2 exactly right there. Gonna be making it so that 30 car subway machine for Mustang's not gonna be able to make the pass that he wanted. So definitely gonna be definitely gonna be interesting, shall I say, as the 81 makes the pass on the 77. Bumper to bumper. Ooh, contact. Ooh, gets into the 81.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 77 there was all over the back, and just had to check up just a little bit as the 90 machine went from the high side down to the low side, just in front of Waylon Turner. And Waylon Turner is down on the inside, making it 3 wide. But as they come out of the corner, loses a little bit of momentum to that high side.
Yeah, and looking now down below the 90 car, not going to be 3 wide yet. Trying to make a move, but I want to bring this up. With us being lap 30 and this many cars bunched up, when this pit window opens, this is definitely going to be interesting. We might have some people that might miss pit road.
Yeah, I'd imagine within the next five or so laps, you're going to see everybody start to try and single file out just a little bit, unless they're planning on going basically until their tank's completely empty. Then they might run the high line and stay out of trouble there, as pitting from third place is the pole setter, Michael York. Michael York down on pit lane already here.
Lap 31, third place, like you said, Michael York come down pit lane, probably burned off rubber more than he wanted to, so getting those fresh shoes, as I mean, this is just a hornet's nest. This is something that, you know, some series I don't see them bunched up like this far into the race.
No, usually at Kansas you'll see it at restarts and such. Oh,
ooh.
Wow.
Was that the 77 or 74?
It was the Milwaukee.
I think it's the...
It was a 74. The Milwaukee 74 went hard into that outside wall.
Yeah, and with these toe links, that's something that these drivers do have to be careful with, because you hit that wall too hard, you can break that toe link. And looking on that right front now, we might be able to see if he has damage and if that toe link is damaged, but doesn't really look to be damaged.
No, it looks like it's all right. Looks like he caught the wall pretty square, which is a good thing. But like you said, with these next gens, if you get bumped at just the wrong time, it is going to be murder on your tires until you can get that replaced.
Yeah, definitely indeed. And ooh, Chevy Camaro goes up higher than number 9. This is about to be interesting going into turns 1 and 2. Will the 74 look on the inside of the 59 and 9 car? He will not. Too wide here for P9 and 10. Amazing battling. When I told you these drivers kind of lay back, you know, the first 100 laps, I'm guessing Kansas is a different story to these drivers.
Now, these guys are all over the track trying to find where they want to be. We've seen passes made on the high side, some down low, some 3 wide action. But 35 laps in, I thought they'd start to kind of settle down, figure out when they want to make that pit window. And yeah, it looks like the 74-24 goes down to the bottom, crosses over all 3 lanes.
That was a perfect angle right there. You could see all 4 cars going into their turn right now. A beautiful sight that I love to see, as the 24 car trying to make a move. 74 car gets in the wall again. Definitely gonna want to try to keep that out of the wall to stop from getting more damage. Allows the 24 car to keep up ahead. 74 car though of Pete Walsh is not gonna give it up, even though, you know, he's like, I may have hit the wall a couple of times, but I'm still not out of this.
Yeah, he's hit the wall a couple times. He's had a little rough go of it, but he is still hanging on here. He's dropped back 6 positions from where he started, but still hanging tough. I mean,
I'm lost for words. I'm gonna be honest. Like, seriously, going into this, I was expecting, like I've mentioned multiple times, you know, these drivers to be laid back, kind of safe, but they were just battling back and forth, punches and blows and jabs left and right from every single one of these drivers. And Kyle Diaz is your race leader now, maybe?
Nope.
Or
Oh, Adam.
nope.
Adam
Adam
Bowden
Bowden
still.
still.
Yep, still out there taking a Sunday drive at the moment. Has almost a 2.5-second lead.
And that's something, you know, these drivers want, especially getting that clean air on this car. And what he is currently wanting is Diaz to burn up his tires. But right now, the top two right now are by themselves, which is nice. They're happy. All those cars in the back mid-pack field are battling it out, because that does make them lose time as they keep on, you know, jabbing at each other, making blows, punches, trying to make passes, which in their end result will kind of slow them down.
15. Chevy Bradley Rivers is on pit lane, so looks like somebody's starting to slowly pull the plug here as they get rolling.
Yes, indeed. As 15, now the 77 possibly down pit road. Nope. I am seeing things.
The 9 and 90 are battling pretty tough here.
Yeah, and ooh, 30 car got in the wall. 8's gonna be coming down pit road. Got 77 down pit road.
That looked like it was a little dicey. They're headed to pit lane, especially for that 9 machine. Looked like he was up more in the high line, trying to get down to pit lane from up there is a little difficult here as
Adams coming down.
Coming in.
Kyle Diaz falling behind. Wouldn't be surprised if I see some of these cars falling in pursuit, and I was almost spot on with currently the, you know, field lap run, as new race leader is going to be a Dwayne Furtick, but it will cycle back to maybe Michael York. I am not sure, because he pitted really early. As a lot of wholesale pit stops coming down pit lane. Adam Bowden, Kyle Diaz, Robert Roth, my bad, Anthony Ludi, Alan Holtzman, Christopher Roth. Yeah, Dylan Picklesmeyer came down. Now the 51's coming down of Dwayne Furtick. Got that lap led for extra points. Now John Osborne is still out of the track. Currently have about 5 to 6 cars that have not come down pit lane.
This is one of the easy ways to try and get that bonus point. You know, when everybody else comes down pit lane, if you're close, stay out, get the little bonus point, and then come on in. Looks like Kane Lee's gonna stay out.
81 comes down. The 30 car of Waylon Turner comes down. Now cycles 3 cars still have not came down. 91 of Canely, like you mentioned, is going to be now the race leader, but again is getting to the end of that field run, looking to get extra points as well for leading the lap. Wouldn't be surprised if we see South as well doing the same after he comes down pit road.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Called it right there, as Adam Bowen will cycle back actually into the race lead once everybody comes down, looks like it.
He will be close.
Ooh, I forget, we do have Michael York.
Yeah, Bowden and Diaz are getting their laps back here, as looks like 17 South is probably on fumes here.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I don't think you would be wanting to go that slow. Now, the real question is, will he be able to make it to his pit stop? Or stall? Ooh.
It's going to be close.
It will, especially since he does have to slow down for the pit speed. It will slow him down, and he might make it. He does. He does indeed. Hopefully, he got lucky there. Imagine stopping just a few feet from your pit box.
You have to get a tow for
2 minutes.
For 2 feet for 2 minutes. Like,
I would cry. I'm gonna be honest. As battling between the 40, I believe that is lab car.
Yep, 40 Doug Denise. Denise. I'm gonna say if I get it wrong,
Denise?
Doug Denise. We'll go
It's okay.
Denise.
I should know this. I'm sorry. But yes, Michael York is currently your race leader with Adam Boughton. Going to be about 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds back behind. But with Michael York pitting 10 laps before everybody else, he's going to be running on, how shall I say it, older tires. There we go. Words, Emily. Older tires than a lot of the rest of the field. So I will expect in about 13 to 20 laps, Adam Boughton catching up to Michael York.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see that. The other thing you're going to see is he's going to have to come to pit lane. And
4 times, right?
Yeah, definitely. But he'll have to come to pit lane in 15 laps. Whereas while these other guys, they can go another almost 30. So
yeah, and that's definitely something that, not going to be on his side. And like I said, and we saw from people that just happened, South came down on fumes. Some of these drivers do like to push it to the very last lap, and it worked for a couple people as well. I think it was Dover, if I remember correctly. The winner hit it every time on the last, literally, fumes. It was able to have those fresh sets of tires, fresher tires than the other people, and was able to catch up. And Dover is definitely a track that stretch tires too.
yeah, we're a third of the way through the race, so we saw pit stops on lap 40. So they're going to have to make at least a couple more pit stops.
Yes, indeed. And like you said, with these drivers coming down between 40 and 45, going to be about a 4-stop race here tonight. Depends on how these drivers save their tires and save that fuel. We look at 17 South. 45 is the amount you can go on fuel. So definitely going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, as you can see, just the difference in speed that the 94 here has versus the 48. As Adam just drives right by Michael York.
Yeah. There it is. I did call it Adam Boughton. Boughton? Brain fart. I've been up for way too long, and that's what's telling me. Gets by Michael York, and now the 48 is going to start falling back down, like you mentioned, as a rock, as Kyle Diaz works on the inside now. York's now going to have to figure out what he's going to have to do. He's going to be hoping for a caution soon, so some of these drivers can come down pit road to get a fresh set of tires, especially with this far into the race. They have a couple extra sets now in the pit road that they can utilize. With that being said, that is what York's currently wanting, so he can get back on the same fuel windows, back on the same tire window as well as all of these drivers.
Yeah, Michael York is definitely going to want to see how that works here. As just looking at the first 5 and their pit strategy here, you can see how much earlier Michael York pitted and how many positions he fell after his pit stop.
Definitely, indeed. And that's something I don't know what made him come down pit road. It might have been because he burnt up his tires.
Yeah. And everybody else on there is basically the same strategy. So if Michael York could have got, he is just slow down the backstretch.
Ooh, looks like he wrecked out. I have a feeling his tires got burnt up and he wrecked. unfortunate. The curse comes again for the P1 pole
Let's see if
sitter.
we can see. This is. Oh. That looks like he was just slow into the wall. Not even. No damage, it looks like, on that, so he's coming down pit lane anyway.
Interesting, as second place is now 2/10 away from Adam Bowden. There we go, I said it right. There we go. Now on the tail end of him, Sean, I'm here. Like I said early in the race, once he gets his line going, once he gets in the groove, Diaz is a fast car, and it shows right now as he is currently on the rear end of the 94 working and possibly going to try to dive down if the 94 stays high. Actually stays up there. Interesting.
Yeah, he's not really changing anything. I mean, he does have his Kyle Diaz does have his teammate Bradley Rivers behind him as they're trying to.
There we go.
I was say trying to figure out what he wants to do here. Goes to the
now
inside.
The real question is Adam gonna try saving tires now. That's the real question. As York is in pit lane, like we mentioned, and 18 cars currently on the lead lap, 60 laps in, and after a green flag run, pretty good. Normally, after a green flag run, sometimes we see maybe 10 cars, 5 cars on the lead lap, so these drivers are definitely doing everything right, hitting all of their marks, so it's definitely good to see.
Yeah, they're all over the track, too, trying to figure out where they want to be. 94, 26. 26 is all over the back bumper there of Adam
Now,
Bowden.
side by side for the lead. Looking on the inside, going to be now Diaz working on trying to make that slide job happen. Going into, does not get it. Going to try again, but watch out. The 15 of Bradley Rivers is coming up behind them. With this battling happen in the lead, it's going to allow Bradley to be able to catch up to these drivers as Diaz is still trying to, throw blows at Adam right there, but does not make it happen.
Yes, side by side for quite a while. They're trying to work their way around the track. It looked like Diaz kind of had the momentum at one point, but Bowden just said, nope, I'm up here and I'm just going to keep driving. And he is now out to 0.2 of a second lead. But Diaz is going to get back in line, get that draft a little bit, and then try and make another pass as Bradley Rivers is down on the bottom, trying to use as little of the track as possible here.
Yeah, and closing that gap he is right now. Before he was, if I am correct, he was a little over, I think it was a second roughly, but with them battling how they battle for those couple laps allowed him to be able to catch up to them and might allow him to keep on catching up.
And Diaz was able to close in the last few laps, a couple thousandths a lap there, but it looks like the last lap looks like Diaz drove away just a little bit, but Rivers was almost into that outside wall as he drove by.
Yeah, and that's something that we've seen a couple of these drivers hit that wall, and Michael York hit the wall a couple of times, it seemed like, and he is out of the race most likely from what I'm seeing, or just getting damage repaired down pit lane. And you said it, the past races that we've had this season, every driver that's qualified in P1 has not won the race. I think you cursed him.
Yeah, probably. I probably did. Do a little research, find out what happened, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, send all the hate mail, not to me though. Alrighty, let's see here. We want to switch over to the rapid fire machine, the number 90 of Ryan McCall, running a rapid fire paint scheme, going to be one of the sponsors for this league. The first rapid fire pizza opened its doors in 2015 in Dayton, Ohio. The idea was simple: make delicious, fast, and affordable pizza. Now in 25 cities across the country, customers love the fresh taste, the speed, and the ability to create their own perfect pizza with over 35 different toppings and sauces. Go to www.rapidfirepizza.com for a location near you. Now, beautiful paint scheme that we saw in the number 90 of Ryan McCall. I am not near Rapid Fire Pizza. I mentioned this last race as well. But if I do see one, and I am close to one, I am going to try it.
Yeah, I see all these guys with their paint schemes of fancy places to go eat, and I'm like, oh, God, that sounds so good. And then it's like, no, you live up in BFE, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I actually looked up. I have one that's about 3-4 hours away. Obviously, I might make a drive one day over there, but I mean, looking at the pictures of their stores, definitely have beautiful restaurants out there in Ohio, like I mentioned. And I mean, I'm down to try it. I love pizza. Pizza is everything. Easy to make, at least I think it is, but as Diaz still not letting go of Adam though for P1 and P2.
Yeah, I think as long as Diaz can stay, you know, within reach, I guess, within range of Bowden there, he'll decide when he wants to try and make that move. It'll probably be later in the race. He knows that they have to make a couple more pit stops, so just keep the race clean, keep moving. And with that battle up front, we also have a battle starting to, well, I was going to say we had a battle, but we don't, because that's a lap. Is that a lap car? No. No, Furtick is coming. Furtick is coming now.
But it looks like we have some battling possibly. Actually, hold on. Kyle Diaz, did he pass P1 actually?
Side by side again. They just will not go away from each other.
They will not, and I mean, Adam's probably getting, I would be honest, if I was Adam right now, I would be getting tired of it. Just on my back bumper, I mean, Diaz is where he wants to be. He is pressuring Adam right now, wanting him to burn up his tires so he can be able to, you know, get past him without any fuss, shall I say. He is still trying to make a couple jabs and blows here and there, but just letting Adam kind of run his own race, and like we saw, you know, not a couple laps before, is getting on his side, kind of showing, hey, I'm still here, I'm pressuring you. You either keep running like you're running or let me pass you.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Kyle's almost playing a little cat and mouse there, saying, yeah, I can get to your inside anytime I want. And then just backs out, rolls a couple laps, and then goes and tries to stick his nose in there again. As we're getting close to that halfway mark here, and probably within, let's say, 17 laps or so of making some pit stops. So we'll see who decides to pull down first.
Yeah, as from what I'm looking at, we have some battling about mid-pack, possibly. Which, from what we've seen when we went back there before, ooh, in the wall.
I'll say Kane Lee got into the wall.
Perfect timing. Looks like some damage on the left side of that car, which is interesting. Somebody might have turned into him. But this is where we start seeing drivers now actually start spreading out, especially with pit strat already down, and you know, green flag pit stop in the book, shall I say, is down currently. These drivers are now more spread out. Now, if a caution comes out, it's going to change the whole ball game.
Yeah, it definitely will here, as Dwayne Furtick is making his way past Bradley Rivers. We got the Aeons Motorsports team battling with the Revolution Motorsports team. Yes,
as currently looks like, up, our biggest mover is Waylon Turner. Remember, he was not able to qualify here tonight and still not able to qualify for 3 more races. Up 10 spots, which not too shabby, shall I say. Especially with a green flag pit stop in the books, and we're about to come up on a second one. And like you said, if I'm correct, they had 1 caution last year at Kansas, and I'm gonna knock on some wood really quick before I say this. It's possible this might go green all the way.
Well, anything's possible, but
There's a reason why I knocked on wood. There's a reason why I knocked on wood, because I know it can happen. But I mean, pretty spread out right now, besides the 5 currently battling the 77 right there for his 16th position, and gets by him. Allows him to get in front of him. Some damage though on the front of that 5. Curious on how that occurred, but does not seem to be affecting that car much, which from the damage it looks like you think it would. But
yeah, you can see how it's bent up just a little bit, but doesn't seem to be slowing it down hardly at all here.
yeah, as working on lap 78, and we saw what 45 was the latest our last person came down pit road. So we're looking about lap 90. So we still got about almost 20 laps roughly in this field run if drivers are wanting to go that full 45 laps. But if they don't, we're looking at about 5 to 10 laps, shall I say, as I speak of the devil of green flag pit stops, the number 9 in that Chevy Camaro, Dylan Picklemeyer in the Uni First machine coming down pit road.
Yeah, first driver to blink, so.
Yeah. Will we have any takers coming down soon? It is in the window now. So definitely going to be interesting to see who's deciding to come, if they're going to come down pit road early or stay out.
Yeah, as you were talking about the race going green, you have to come into a race thinking that it's going to go green the whole way. So you kind of have to back up your pit strategy calls so you can figure out if you want the fresh tires
Adam
at
comes
the
down.
end of the races. Adam comes down, so he's basically sticking
Now
to
15.
I want to say sticking to what he was going to do here.
Yeah, every 40 laps does not seem bad at all, which theoretically comes out to about 3 pit stops. Next time he'll come down, we'll be looking at about 120. We'll bring it, like you said, the 3 stop for this race, and we'll shoot out those last 30 laps on fresh set of tires as Diaz comes down. Wanted to lead that lap as Dwayne Furtick goes now in the lead. Stays out one more time to get that extra bonus points, which I don't know if he got it last time. I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah, I believe he did stay out to get it. So everybody's going to probably come down. So this will be the more interesting of the next pit strategies or pit calls. Because do you wait until that 120 so you have basically 20 laps to the end, or do you try and undercut and come in, say, on 110, knowing you can make it to the end, you can make it through with the green-white checkers if you happen to have one of those. You know, that's going to be the next strategy call is where do you come down, 110, 120, somewhere in there?
Yeah, like you said, 110, 120, definitely going to be interesting to see, especially like you mentioned, you know, 1 caution happened last year here, and we all know once it gets to the 120, 130, like 140 mark, that's when it starts dicing up and getting spicy on the track, especially here at Kansas, like 4 wide, 5 wide, we've seen definitely can breed a caution with that racing that could possibly happen after that pit strategy. Definitely going to be interesting to see if, like you said, you know, coming down 110, you know, you can make it to the end with green-white checkers as well. And if there is a caution in between there, you have an extra set of shoes, you can still make it to the end. And if you want to, you can still get a full tank of Sunoco racing field as well.
As John Osborne stays out and rolls a couple more laps. He'll probably come down the next lap as he came down on lap 43.
Sal's still out there. Gonna be interesting to see if he tries running his car out of fuel again for the second time. Gonna be see if he has fumes. I'm not gonna let that go. I'm gonna be honest.
I would say I don't know that I ever saw anybody run it completely out and just barely make it back to their pit box, but that is one heck of a strategy. I mean,
it did work for him, you know, and that's something that honestly I don't think we've seen happen many times, especially if running out of fuel that early on the backstretch. I mean, he's not doing too bad. As Bradley Rivers, Adam Bowden. Yeah, Adam Bowden should theoretically cycle out. Actually, no, Kyle Diaz will cycle out.
I'd say they're still battling here. They can't get away from each other. Kyle Diaz had a little bit quicker pit stop as he spent 44.4 seconds on pit lane as Bowden spent 45. So just got out in front. And as we were talking about 17 South here,
gonna be working on almost, you know, 45 laps is what we've seen. I mean, he ran complete out of field, so he's getting close.
It's going to be interesting to see if he comes down one lap sooner than he did last time. If he does that, he should come down this next time. So we'll see.
We'll see. I'm gonna be honest. I may or may not chuckle if he runs out of fuel again. But the real question though is, now he learned that he'll run out of fuel at lap 45. Now, will he try to throttle that so he can still keep some speed instead of actually going fully out of fuel in that backstretch? That could be a play.
I wonder how many laps of fuel you can save here if you immediately start saving from the get-go.
That is true, because I know these drivers, you know, they haven't been saving, at least from what I've seen. I don't think they've been saving at all. You can hear him currently in 5th gear, and I think he's saving.
It looks like he's just kind of cruising around. So if he can make a few more laps.
Yeah, he's saving. Oh, no, he is coming down. One lap before. He learned his lesson. But now, was that the play, though, to stay out that long? Because now he's going to have to catch back up to the leaders, as Kyle Diaz is now your race leader and now passing him. So, will it work out for South? We will see, as the Milwaukee looks to be the 74 and 94. My dyslexia almost got wrong there. 74 now, actually, is he a lap down?
Yep, 74 is the first car a lap down. Pete Walsh there.
Interesting. I'm curious on what happened with him that made him go a lap down.
Pitted a lap later, it looked like, than Diaz and Felton. So
definitely some of these drivers hoping for that caution to come out. I know a lot of these drivers are.
But you were definitely right when you were talking about, is that the right play for South? South exits his pit stop in 17th position now. So
and a lap down as well.
Yep. 38 seconds back from Kyle Diaz.
So definitely some of these drivers, Pete Walsh, Alan, Kent, Aaron in 17th South, and Anthony, as well as Doug, all of these drivers going to be currently a lap down, with 12 leading on the lead lap currently. Definitely hoping for a caution to come out, but mostly looking for it to come out about midway to almost end of this run, so everybody can come down pit road. They can go around, stay out, get that wave around to be back on the lead lap is what I would do, because everybody knows cautions breed cautions. Once that first caution comes out, most of the time another one will follow, especially once it gets close to the end of the race.
Especially when you have drivers that stayed out trying to get that wave around. They usually get the wave around, and then they're on the older tires, wind up spinning them on a restart, and that's what usually winds up bringing out that next caution. But if they can stay green for another 13 laps or so, I bet everybody comes down, except for, like you said, those few that want that wave around, and then it's gonna be tough to battle back.
And that's what sucks is, especially when these races go green for this long and go green all the way, you know, that it's hard to bounce back from going a lap down because, one, you can't get that wave around, that lucky dog, if a caution comes out, and as well, if there's a couple cautions, you can't get a whole, like, 5 people around as well. So, definitely going to put a lot, these drivers got to race their tires off and be able to catch up and be able to make moves, but
with that being said, we'll step aside here, go picture in picture, take a little break here, and then bring you the closing laps here from the Average Joe's Gym 225 at Kansas. We'll be back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Average Joe's Gym 225 ECR NextGen Series. We have had a fun-filled race here, but now it is starting to get down to the nitty-gritty, and Kyle Diaz is starting to drive away here.
Yeah, Kyle Diaz is now pulling a 2-second gap from Adam and that number 94 Chevy machine. But like you said, we're coming down to the nitty and gritty, and I like the term that you said, because we're getting close to that pit window. That third pit window doesn't even feel like it's, been that long, as we're working on lap 105 now. We're coming into about 5 to 15 laps. We're looking, no, 5 to 10. I can't do math. About 5 to 10 laps if these drivers will come down pit road. Definitely gonna be interesting to see if they short pit it, late pit it. Will it work for these drivers? And 17 South as well. How 17 South will possibly bring it back? Maybe, maybe not. We will see, as Dwayne Furtick now up in the 3rd place. Gonna be trying to catch up to Adam, and possibly will catch up to Adam. It looks like he's making gain on him, actually.
Yeah, the teammates are starting to get closer together. We're going to see if maybe they do work together here. I know it's Kansas, so drafting and all of that usually isn't a great big deal, but a little bit does help. And maybe, you let Dwayne get out in front of Adam here, and then Adam falls in behind and learns the line a little bit better of what Furtick is doing here, and they close the gap on Diaz.
Yeah, as Dwayne Furtick passes, now we're going to try to track down Kyle Diaz, but Kyle Diaz with that clean air, about a 3 to 3-second gap currently from everybody else in the field. So definitely a lot of work Dwayne Furtick has to do to be able to catch up to him, and maybe this pit cycle might help him. We will see. And Adam kind of wants this pit cycle, and I know some of these drivers definitely kind of want to break. Remember, they've gone 108 laps green. So these drivers have been gone non-stop. The only break they've had is when they come down pit road.
And just as you said that,
I didn't know. Nope. I said no such thing. I said no such thing.
Ooh. Doug Denise here. Around he goes. If we can take a different look at it.
Now the real question though is, will these lapped cars stay out? Because they can still go, what, say 5 to 6 laps. Will it be worth it? As looks like he gets into the wall and it sucked him in, getting loose, sends down. 30 car was like, I don't know where I'm going. Where are you going at? And tries to go low, gets tags the front end of the 40 car, sends him straight into the wall, sliding across that front stretch. Great view for the people up in the grandstands.
Yeah, that is. So, see if I can just take a look from the gyro cam here. On board here, you can see him hit the wall. I don't know what it is, but I don't think I've seen too many drivers be able to get this next-gen car to snap back the other way without basically completely doing a 360.
Yeah, and that's, I've noticed too, especially getting loose going, like even Vegas and stuff like that, and Dover, once you get loose, like, that back end slips out and you try correcting it, you go straight into the wall, as wholesale pit stops from the whole field besides the lapped cars. Unless they will go down pit road, obviously they have to wait one more lap to come down that pit road, as again, they are not on the lead lap, so we will see if they decide to come down pit road. It will be a gamble if they do stay out, hoping to see a caution afterwards, so definitely going to be interesting to watch out for those lapped cars.
Yeah, this is the first caution of the race. 109 laps, caution free.
And Adam beats Kyle Diaz off pit road. And we do have cars staying out.
So
go ahead.
I was just looking at their pit time. Adam only spent 12 seconds in his pit box compared to Diaz's almost 15.
We want to take a look at his pit really quick. I have a funny feeling I think I know what he did. He either just took fuel, which I don't see that, a good idea, or he just took rights. But I feel like that would make that car extremely loose.
Right sides
He just took rights. Okay. I have a bad feeling about this restart. Or is that just me? I understand getting rights after, like 10, 12 laps on a set of tires, right? But remember, folks, they're in their pit window currently. So they've gone, how should I say it? I think it was 35, about almost 40 laps on a set of tires. So that left side, both left sides have about 30 to 40 laps on it. So that car is about to be loose, if I had to say so.
I tend to agree, depending on how the inside tire or the left side tires are getting worn. I know mostly at Kansas it is, kind of that right front that you kind of have to deal with a little bit here, as the wave around cars are on their way back to the lead lap.
Now, those cars will probably hope, this caution breach another caution as we rack stack and get ready to go. Green lights are off the pace car as we're entering turn 2. Currently, race leader is going to be the 94 of Adam. Going to be beating Kyle Diaz off pit road, like we mentioned. Hometown. I'm just going to say state. I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. I'm going to be honest. From Pennsylvania, 5-time ECR Cup Series Championship, 2018 to 2022. So definitely a long veteran here in ECR, as we have Kyle Diaz in the 26 Domino Chevy machine, following behind him in third place. He's 51 in the Best Buy machine. Beautiful car. And the 15 of Bradley Rivers in the U.S. Army, been fast in the top 5 all night. As pace car dives down, we get ready to go green. And the Geico restarts down. Green, green, green. Here we go. Lap 112. Huge run from the 94, which is pretty... I don't know how I feel about that.
Well,
that could go good or bad.
I definitely think that having his teammate behind him helped that restart, because he gave him plenty of room in case he did happen to spin the tires. But Bowton is on his way. Kyle Diaz closing in, Bradley Rivers, and Furtick is still down on the bottom side.
I mean, I see those working for Adam, though. I'm surprised. I mean, Adam's being able to pull a huge lead there, as 3 wide right there. Still 3 wide going into turn 1 and 2, words Emily. As loose it looks like the 90 got. Going to be diving down on the inside of Furtick. Ryan McCall now in that P4 position, moving Dwayne Furtick back to P5. Going to be able to get past him. Going to throw that slide job.
Shoof. Inside out.
That was a... battling, throwing jabs and blows left to right, and this is where it gets spicy, dicey, and a lot of these drivers are now going full speed, full everything. With this caution coming out, allow them to clump up and come back to what this race started like.
Yeah, this race was crazy at the beginning. Lots of side-by-side action, 3 and 4 wide. Inside, outside goes the drivers, as the 90 defending champion of Kansas here, Ryan McCall, looks to get back inside the top 4 here, as he lost a little bit of ground there, as Furtick got the 51. Best Buy Chevy pointed in the right direction here.
as John Osborne was looking back there, but watch out, the 15. Oh, yeah, John Osborne looking on the inside of 8 and the 90 car. Got a huge run going off there with the 90 car going down low is going to allow to get some clean air on that car and some draft now going into turns 1 and 2. Going to be running that bottom line. Currently going to be one of the fastest lines looking to be if you can get that run coming off of turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But with everybody in single file being on the outside line, it's not going to be in the favor of John.
Yeah, no, Osborne is going to have to try and find somebody to kind of help him get pushed towards the front here so he can get in front of the number 90 of Ryan McCall, but he has not been able to do it. He's battling side by side, and all this is allowing Wayne Furtick to get about a half-second lead right now as they are still side by side behind him.
Yeah, and side by side, like you mentioned, he has help from the 9 car behind him, but not much. Still throwing jabs and blows, trying to get up into the quarter panel of that 90 rapid fire pizza. Huge run still side by side, but not the run he's currently wanting to be able to get even a bigger gap. But a lot of these drivers are going to start shaking it up as Adam is still in the race lead. Remember, he only took 2 right sides. And it's working for him, but the realistic question, will it work for him in the long run? I think what he was hoping for was a caution that would allow him to be able to get it. And we're about to see a lot of these lap cars come down pit road. Like I said, they only had about 6 to 8 laps left on those on that field run because they didn't get the caution that they wanted.
Yeah, it looks like Robert Roth is one of the last drivers who was able to make that pit window there. Robert Roth and Pete Walsh both came down on lap 109, 110. And then you have Kent Mueller and Aaron Spear came down on lap 84. So they're going to have to come down pit lane momentarily here as well.
Yeah, and with these drivers battling like it is, these drivers are hoping it happens now or, that gamble did not work out is basically what it comes down to, especially with the choice they made. It's a gamble. It could work, it could not work, as the 9 car is now looking on the side, almost touching the 24 car.
I'll say the 24 and 9 are right next to each other, almost bouncing off each other's doors there, as this is about the way it's been in this mid-pack area. Up front, they've been side by side for a little while now and again, but right now it's about 2 tenths, man.
Yeah, like you said, 2 tenths indeed. I mean, these drivers side by side, the 9 and 24 now. 9's trying to throw some jabs and blows now going into turns, if I'm correct, 2 and 3, and following behind. Same for the cars behind the 74, 30, and if I am correct in that blue machine, going to be the number 62. Going to be falling back. As single file line now on the backstretch, but 62 bumper to bumper to the 30 car, but something you got to be careful with, because with being on the bumper and going into turns like that, you can definitely get tight and just go straight into the wall.
Yeah, they've updated some of it, so the air, if you can get the air off, you don't even necessarily have to touch them so much, but if you can just take the air off, it'll loosen up the ride, and they'll slide up the track and have to basically get out of the throttle to catch it here.
Yeah, and like you said, they changed a couple of things, and a while back, flat spotting tires came into effect here on this racetrack surface, into the car, shall I say, and I mean, we haven't seen it here tonight, of course, and I don't know if I've seen it yet, but I'm curious to deep dive that. I might do some testing later to deep dive into that and get some more information on that as well. You might have more information on that than I do, but, flat spotting tires is a thing now, so when these drivers, do wreck out, these drivers do got to be careful to not just slam on the brakes and hold brakes as well, as the 9 car now gets up into the wall going turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, the 9 car of Picklesmer went up into the back of the 24. It looked like he maybe slid just a little bit off of that bumper, went up into the wall, and now had to check out just a bit. But he's going to have his rearview mirror full of Pete Walsh in that Milwaukee board here as he goes down to the inside. And side by side goes Waylon Turner and Christopher Roth door to door as they're banging. These guys are all over the track here. Nobody's giving an inch.
Yeah, like you said, nobody is giving an inch as Adam's still in the race lead. I mean, I guess it's working out for him.
Like I said, it depends on how much wear you actually got on those left side tires. I don't know that it's going to be a lot, but you know those right sides were definitely beat up.
Oh yeah, definitely, indeed, especially after having a little over 30 to 40 laps on a set of tires. I mean, not getting away from Diaz as the 15 of Bradley Rivers is now looking on the underside of the 26. Will he be able to make the move? He will not. Will have to file back in. There he goes. Still not done in the back though, as the 9 and 24 are still at it.
These guys can't get away from each other either. As they
Yes. Still battling.
Oh,
Ooh,
Pete
some
Walsh
wiggling.
looked like, I would say Pete Walsh looked like he was going to go down to the bottom. All of a sudden, Waylon Turner turned down. So he went up the track.
Ooh.
9 and 24, door to door again.
90 of the rapid fire pizza gets into the wall.
I want to say Kane Lee slid up in front of the 90 there, and 90 checked up and went into the outside wall. Getting down to 20 laps to go here next time by. And as we said, it looks like Kent Mueller, Aaron Spear all come down pit lane. Big battle here for second place between Diaz, Rivers, and Furtick.
Yes, indeed, as Diaz has... Ooh, 77 is going to be down there. But anyway, Diaz still fighting off the 15 of Bradley Rivers. Throwing blocks, making it so he can't be able to get by him, and that's what's currently happening as we are now 20 laps to go here at Kansas Speedway. Almost said Motor Speedway. As on the bumper he is. I mean, Adam still has a decent lead. It's working for him. That two tire shot is working for him. Now, I'll say it again. Will it work, though, in the long run? Is the real question.
Well, the driver that seems to have the long run car is his teammate back there in the 51, the Best Buy Chevy, Dwayne Furtick. He kind of hangs out, you know, fourth, fifth, whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like his car comes to life after about 15, 20 laps. So he is gaining speed here, and it looks like he's going to be able to try and make a pass before we get inside that 10 to go. So we'll see if he's able to close the gap and maybe help teammate up there, Adam Bowden, as the 94 is just running away right now.
Yeah, like you said, 94 is currently running away, and I am battling now. The 9 has caught up to the 90 of Ryan McCall. 3 wide? Yes, 3 wide indeed, going into that oval and moving into turns 1 and 2. Not 3 wide anymore, but 30 car definitely likes taking it 3 wide. We've seen him, you know, dive his nose in, but did back off, and that's what it looks like what he did there at the same time.
Yeah, it seems like he almost has that push to pass button as he just sucks up right to the rear bumper, and then all of a sudden he's down on the inside and is 3 wide. Like Kane Lee's trying to close in as well here. Furtick and Rivers were able to get by Diaz.
Yeah, 51 still battling the 26. Gets by Diaz indeed, as the 81 of Osborne gets past the 8, but still battling back there as well. as 15 laps to go, and none of these drivers are letting up, foot to the pedal, gas down, metal to metal, shall I say. Not letting any room for error. I mean, if these drivers do one mistake when they're side by side like that, it can be catastrophic.
Yeah, one little mistake, and you can take out basically half the field as close as they've been running. They are still battling back here in the back.
Yeah. 30 car now looking on. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Let's say the 9, 90, and 30, all three of them.
Bumper to bumper, 30 car was not able to, tuck in like he wanted to, which is unfortunate. It's something that we've seen that he's been trying to do throughout this whole race when he's been making this passes. It's hard to be able to make that slide drop happen, but it's even harder, especially with, the driver staying on that top line and him not having support to be behind him and move up.
Yeah, that high line is definitely the line you want to be in. We'll say high to middle, as they've been able to get that momentum coming off of the corners and get half a car length or a car length in front of this 30 here. And Kyle Diaz is going backwards in a hurry as John Osborne gets by too. So Diaz goes from up front to 5th place after that last round of pit stops under caution.
Yeah, and I think he might have burnt up his tires, but I don't know. It's hard to think. You think Diaz would be passing Adam right now, especially with how Adam pit strategy worked, but I mean, it's working for him. But the 91 of Kane Lee's now going to be in 9th. Ooh, wrecking 90 of Ryan McCall. No caution will go out. Ooh.
Side by side they went, and the 90 just came up just a little bit in front of the 30 there.
That was a hard hit.
No caution.
That will be interesting. As we are working up.
I would say that's the nice thing about Kansas and having concrete basically from the outside wall clear down almost to the inside wall with plenty of room to stay down there.
Yeah, and that's definitely forgiving, especially for these drivers as well. Instead of some of those tracks like Dover that doesn't have that, it's just the safety barrier right there. When they dive down like that, they hit it, they go back onto track and wreak havoc to the rest of the field.
Looking at lap times here, it doesn't look like Rivers is closing the gap almost at all on Boughton here. It just doesn't.
I can't wait to interview Boughton and hear, the gamble that he did, because I feel like that was a gamble going for 2 tires like he did, especially with still, coming down, what was it, 109 if I'm correct.
Yeah.
That's still 40 laps on on those tires, on the new ones as well, but adding 40 more on top of the ones that already had 40. I'm curious. I'm definitely gonna ask him to see what the left front is, especially the right rear.
Yeah, they will definitely have paid their dues tonight.
As now we're coming down to under 10 laps to go. Can't believe it's been 142 laps, now 143 in the book, as Diaz is now kind of falling back, as battling back there. The 40 car is actually back out on the field, going to be down a decent amount of laps, but still making some moves, still out there running, still having fun, and that's what these drivers love to have.
See if there's any action here on track, and it looks like the closest is going to be between the 8 here of Michael Carter and Kyle Diaz.
Actually,
they were kind of battling.
I think there's some battle between the 30 car back there. Yes, indeed. The 62 of Christopher Ross is going to be looking on the inside of the 30 car to see if he can make something happen with the damage the 30 car got from the 90 car, Ryan McCall ended up not being clear and going to the nose, caused some damage to that right front, which will allow that car to slow down a little bit more, which is unfortunate. A fast car, the 30 car, was here tonight, Waylon, but able to get by him. Now going to be working on Kane Lee in front. Going to try catching up to make moves on him as well in these last closing laps as we work 5 laps to go, as 15 is looking on the 51 of Dwayne Furtick trying to make a move. This is where you want to start making these moves, as John Osborne out of nowhere up 10 spots, now in 2nd place. Did not see that, actually.
Yeah, Osborne is the fastest man in the field right now. But
and is he? I think he might be closing on Adam. I think they're running about the same time, actually.
I would say the gap is basically the same, 1.3 to 1.4 seconds. With 3 laps to go, Adam has got that 94 Chevy on cruise control here.
Yeah, like you said, now a 1.4, definitely not going to be catching up. Just ran a 29.9. Remember, he is currently, actually no, not a 29.9. I'm looking at the wrong one. A 31.4. So he's currently running a 100th of a second faster than currently John right now. So I mean, it's close. There's not going to be enough time to be able to catch up. As the popsicle sticks are up in the air now, 2 laps to go. Adam is going to be your current race leader, following John in the 2nd place, with 3rd place going to be Dwayne Furtick. Closest battle currently on the field. Not many right now, and that's kind of what happens with these drivers spacing out after, this long lap.
Yeah, after this long green flag run, that is definitely something that happens, as we are under the white flag, brought to you by Rapid Fire Pizza here in the Average Joe's Gyms 225. Adam Bowden on cruise control has this race on lockdown as he comes through 3 and 4, heading back to the start-finish line.
Adam Bowden will be coming across the start-finish line to be your race winner here at Kansas, following John Osborne in the number 81. 3rd place is going to come to the 51 of Dwayne Furtick. 4th is going to be Dylan Picklemeyer, and rounding out your top 5 here tonight is going to be Bradley Rivers in that 15 Chevy Camaro. Wow. That race was interesting and action-packed, especially the start, going into 30 laps, and I'm guessing Adam might be out of field. Or the 51, the teammate might be...
They might just be having some fun out here.
Might be having some fun. Is he out of fuel?
I don't know.
He might be having him save so he can do a burnout.
Oh. That might be.
Or he actually might be out of fuel. He's out of fuel. Got it. Yep. I know Adam would be doing a burnout right now, so I'm guessing he ran out of fuel. Perfect timing. Well, it would be perfect timing if he got his burnout out, but perfect timing for coming across the start-finish line.
Definitely. Well, let's see.
Alrighty. And amazing race here tonight. Adam, gonna be your race winner here tonight. How would you like to start the interviews? Would you like to work from 3rd and up, or start with your race winner?
Whatever you want to do.
Alright, looks like we already got Adam, the chief bottleneck here at Elite Cup Racing Series, gets his win here at Kansas. Give me a minute. Adam, this is Mike and Emily in the booth. Amazing race here tonight. Finally getting a win here at Kansas. I'm speechless after this race.
As am I a little bit.
Definitely. Coming into that last pit stop, me and Mike took a look back because we saw you had, the shortest pit time coming down pit road, about 12 to 13 seconds. We re-looked at it. You took two right sides in a tank of Sunoco Racing Field. I mean, it worked for you. How are your tires doing?
Well, for the majority of the race, the left sides really weren't doing much, so they were just along for the ride. But it was mainly the rights. So I gambled. Clean air was king, so I gambled on that caution. Took two tires to get clean air again, and that was loosened the car up just enough, and I was able to hang on there to the end. And I'm glad there wasn't one more lap because it was out of fuel coming across the line.
Yeah, and that's something that me and Mike were talking about when the 51. I'm guessing, if I'm correct, your teammate not John, Dwayne Furtick, my bad, was helping you push there. Me and Mike were one thinking you're trying to save fuel to be able to make sure you can do that burnout, or you're out of fuel. But
Engine died coming across the finish line.
oh, perfect timing.
It was sputtering off of Ford, and luckily I had a big enough gap there where I was able to coast it across.
Well, amazing race from you tonight. A gamble that worked out in your favor, got enough to make it to the end. Glad there was no green-white cautions as well, or yeah, green-white checkers, my bad. Here tonight. I mean, a beautiful race from you tonight. Mike, do you have anything for Adam?
Oh, that was a heck of a strategy call there. It looked like you didn't have too much trouble after the two tires. Not sure exactly what happened Diaz there to fall off as much as he did, but you took those two tires and brought you right to victory lane.
Yeah, I think Diaz may have got the wall there, but I was starting to worry a little bit in the middle of there because it's like my car was just dying on the run. It's like I was out front, it was fine, but then after that the green flag cycle where I lost the lead, the car just started going away. But then luckily after the caution came out, we took those two tires, the car came back to life.
Definitely, man. Well, anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Thank you guys for broadcasting it. Shout out to my teammates, Dwayne with a 3rd place finish, Michael Carter and Kane Lee with a 9th and 10th place to round out the top 10. Shout out to my dad who's watching the race, and hopefully we can carry this momentum going forward as we head to the longest race of the year at Charlotte next week.
Definitely, man.
Yes, indeed. Charlotte will be an amazing race. Going into next week at Charlotte, definitely an interesting track, an older track to be said as well. What are your plans? What is your mindset going into next week?
Well, hopefully do a lot what I did tonight. Stay up front and lead some laps, and hopefully we can capture that checkered flag.
Yes, indeed. Alrighty, Adam, our chief and bottleneck here at ECR. Who would you like to thank? Who made it happen? Who made your paint scheme? And yeah.
Well, I did the paint scheme along with my teammates, Michael Carter, Kane Lee, Kent Mueller, and Aaron Spears. I painted all their cars for them. So shout out to all of them for having a pretty solid race.
Yes, indeed. Alrighty, Adam. Glad to see you get a win here tonight. Possibly another win if I'm correct.
That was the first win of the season.
First win of the season, amazing, especially here at Kansas. It's a definitely beautiful track, shall I say, up in the Midwest. Hope to see you. Obviously, I hope to see you next week at Charlotte and maybe win number 2. Knock on wood, because I'm not getting the curse. To you.
I hope the commentator curse doesn't happen. But.
Yes, that's what happened when I was talking about a caution, but we won't talk about that.
All right, I'll put it in my note. Caution was Emily's fault.
No. Alrighty, Adam.
All right, you two have a good one.
Yep, you too. Go celebrate with your team. Go get some champagne. You have a wonderful evening.
All right, you guys too.
Alrighty, that was Adam Bowden, your race winner here tonight. Now we're going to bring in John Osborne in number 81, going to be coming home in 2nd place, up 10 spots from where he started.
Wow.
Mike, would you like to take him?
Hey, John, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Well, not too bad. Well, you spent most of the race basically mired in the mid-pack action there, but found something after that last pit stop, brought you home on the podium. How was it racing out there tonight?
Ooh, it was an interesting setup for sure. I ran a lot of practice, and I just could not get a good feel for if you could make time running the bottom or the high side. I feel like you could make a lot of time like early in the run on the high side, then kind of leveled off. And you could make time on the bottom, but it just wasn't enough. Like I just couldn't, I like to save and then work my way up, which I mean, I was still able to do it, but like it was a lot more difficult tonight. It was a very tight setup. Track temp was around 69 or 70. And so there's a lot of grip, but it was just too tight. It was just too tight. And so I was trying to set my car up as loose as I could. It worked out. Needed about 5 more laps. I think I could have caught Adam. I don't know how he did that on 2 tires. That was wild to me. He went a full fuel run just on right sides. I'm confused. But congrats to him. That was a crazy strategy and glad it worked out. But happy to grab a podium. That 3 wide pass I made there to pass Bradley and Dwayne was a little nerve wracking. I'm just glad I didn't touch anybody, and it was clean. And so it's good racing tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was. You guys were all over the track. Basically, you could pick almost any line you wanted. There's plenty of grip to go around. But you bring home P2 here tonight. Next week, we head to Charlotte. What are your thoughts heading into there?
Definitely think I got a chance at Charlotte. It's one of my favorite tracks, other than Darlington. I love Darlington. I love Charlotte. You can run the bottom, you can run the high side. I think as far as tire wear goes, it sets up for how my driving style is. And so if we get a lot of green flag laps, I definitely feel good going into Charlotte.
Definitely, man. Well, anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Yeah, I think my team, Eons Motorsports. We were kind of all over the map tonight. Michael won the pole, and he said he was just going to go for it. So he would burn his stuff off, then have to come pit. And I think he hit the wall and broke a toe link, and then that pretty much did him in. So hated to see that, but Brad and Kyle did a good job, and I don't know where Ryan finished. He finished way back there. I guess he broke a toe link too. So I guess it's okay. But I want to thank the team. I appreciate them. Thank Adam and Kent for putting on such a great league with ECR. Thank my sponsor that's on the car tonight, Chubby's. Skies out, thighs out. Like, love the short shorts. Thank my mom and dad who always watch. I think I might have had some other friends watching tonight too. So my buddy Brian ever hopped on, then thanks Brian, and my buddy David hopped on, thanks David. So appreciate you all up in the booth, and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, congrats again, and maybe we'll talk to you later.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, later.
Alrighty, that was John Osborne, your second place. Now we got Dwayne Furtick in the number 51 car, Best Buy Chevy Camaro. Gonna be 1 and 3 finish for this team here tonight. Dwayne, this is Emily and Mike in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Roger, I have a copy.
Amazing race from you here tonight. You'll be only up 1 spot tonight, but you made it happen coming home in P3. Beautiful race tonight. Was able to make it from start to finish. What was going through your mind that whole race?
Yeah, well, first off, thank you guys. Thank you for what all you do, and really appreciate you guys broadcasting our races, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. But the number 51 Best Buy Camaro was a rocket ship tonight. Unfortunately, that last caution kind of put a crinkle in my strategy, but I felt like I pretty much managed the tires for the most part better than any car, I think, or any driver. But it just didn't fall into my lap, so just didn't work out. But it was an incredible race. It's always, I'll take it. Good points day.
Yes, indeed, good points day for you and the race winner. Great race, especially from your teammate Adam. Pulled off a really huge gamble, and it worked out for him. Going into next week, Charlotte. What do you think could happen what might happen, or I guess what's your mindset going into next week?
My mindset is to walk away with a win. I think we've been knocking at the door, and obviously my teammate winning tonight, he did an amazing job. Huge shout out to him and the whole Revolution Motorsports. But yeah, going in, my objective is to capture the checkered flag.
Yes, indeed, and I mean, amazing race from start to finish. Normally, these races I've seen from the past, from the ones I've been on, take it easy, laid back for the first 100 laps or so. But that was not the case here tonight. Throwing jabs and blows left to right throughout from start to finish, especially you.
Yes, I made some dicey moves. I don't know, you know, but glad we didn't wreck the field or mangle up some cars. But hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go. It's a split-second decision. Don't have much time to react, and if you don't react, you can lose, by gosh, 4 or 5 positions, just the wrong move. So it's all about positioning your car. The air did play a huge role tonight. Dirty air was pretty wild, but trying to keep your front end, your front nose, keep some air on it. That seems that worked out for guys that that did it. Obviously, Adam, clean air is king.
Yes, indeed. And Mike, do you have anything for our third place finisher here tonight?
Oh man, that was a heck of a race. Looked like you had that car set up definitely for the long run. Congrats on your P3 finish, man.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Oh, alrighty. That. Oh, go ahead.
All right, so that will do it for the interview portion here. Let's see if we can bring up the race results. We got Adam Boughton, John Osborne, and Dwayne Furtick. 1, 2, 3. Then we go back to Dylan Picklesmere, Bradley Rivers, Kyle Diaz, Christopher Roth, Robert Roth, Michael Carter, Kane Lee round out that top 10. Waylon Turner couldn't qualify, but still brings home P11. Alan Holtzman.
P12 is going to be Alan Holtzman at number 24. Amazing race from him as well. Following P13, P13, like I said, going to be in that number 74. 14 is going to be Anthony Ludi in that number 12. 15 is going to be Kent Mueller in that number 5 machine. 17 Sal's going to be the one that allowed us to be here in the booth and put on this amazing show here tonight in that number 88 machine. Ooh, Doug Denise going to be in that number 40 car. Had a couple of issues here tonight. Going to be coming home in 17th. Going to be 4 laps down. Aaron Spear, that number 77, is going to be in 18th place. Going to be part of the 1 and 3 place finishers team. So not a night he wanted to happen, but still a good points team for his team. 19th is going to be Ryan McCall in that number 90 car. 20th, I believe, rounding out your field here tonight, your pole sitter, Michael York in that number 48.
Definitely a little bad luck there for the pole setter. But with that being said, that is a wrap here at Kansas. They will be back next week for Charlotte before, I believe, taking a week off for Memorial Weekend. So with that being said, from all the drivers of the ECR NextGen League, all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night, and we will see you next time.